Alrighty, so since we are at this screen, or since you're at this video now, I'm hoping you will have completed steps 1 and 2 and have your entire board layout saying blank place, my place, your place, Steve's place, mom's place, whatever you decided to name your board uh, at this point. So now this video we're going to go into step 3, which is your border resistor installation. Um, so switch over to here. So when it talks about the border resistors, it's talking about these spots down here. Um, other versions of this board have resistors going all the way around, and your instructions will reference that. However, for our purposes, we don't need that portion, or we don't have the top part. Um, so what we're going to want to do when we're doing this, and I'll use a couple just to demonstrate our color schemes. Pull a few resistors off. All right, so again, we've talked about how our resistors are red. They're red left to right. I think that's backwards for you. So they're red left to right. So we've got orange, blue, yellow, gold. Gold is our metallic. That's always going to be on the end of our resistor. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bend this one. And I'm going to stick it down here in the bottom border with my color going left, just like the rest of my stuff has been so far. And go ahead and bend those over. Um, Something I wanted to touch on real quick. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it, but you can see on this on this solder joint right here. So you can see that there's solder on it, but you can still see the hole. That's called a cold joint. So we didn't get enough solder all the way around it um, to get it there. So it's a simple fix. If you've got an already tinned soldering iron, you can just touch it real quick. Which will heat up the existing solder and then fill in that hole. Hit the wrong joint. All right, so now the hole is gone and we have a good solder joint. So if you end up having holes and spaces, we don't want to have those holes and spaces on our joints, but it's a real easy fix, so nothing to worry about. All right, so I've got my resistor placed down here. My colors on the excuse me, colors on the left, metallics on the right, and it's going left to right like the rest of this. So now on our sides, our resistors are going to go up and down, but since they're in a line, they're kind of flowing. Um, typically it'd be red top to bottom. So in a typical scenario, our resistor would be placed in that fashion. And we're going to do that on this side so that when we make this corner, we turn 90 degrees and our color still flows. And when we come this way, it'll be upside down just to make our colors flow around that edge. So to help me remember that, I'm just going to stick a resistor in with the metallic on the bottom over there. Bend my this camera's killing me, y'all. Right there. And I'm gonna put one more on this side, but then again, with our color scheme flowing around, I'm gonna put it in upside down over here. And I'm gonna bend that like that. Now I'll go ahead and I'll set those into place because those aren't gonna move. So soldering iron on the metal pad and the piece of the component, a little bit of solder, then pull the solder off, pull the iron off. Same situation. You got to make it hot, then add the solder, pull your solder off, and then you can let it get cold. And if you're not hitting everything just right, it's not going to work out just right, as demonstrated by how long that one took me. So I've got my joints there, got my joints there, and then I've got my joints right there. It's not focusing, but you get the picture. So the plus side with this step is that all of our boards are pretty much are fairly well spaced out. So it's going to be a lot harder to bridge these connections with other connections. But the downside is since they're running into each other, it's going to be hard to place a whole bunch of them and then solder them because then we're going to have pieces getting in the way of each other. So this will be a little bit longer, and that you'll need to do one at a time to get the desired result. So now that we've got that in, I'll pull out a few more resistors and start going along. I'm going to do the bottom row first. So what I'll probably do is I'll put in a resistor, skip a couple spots, put in another resistor, skip a few more spots. Put that one in there. I'm going to skip a couple. For the sake of keeping up with stuff, I would recommend not doing more than 3 at a time before you solder. See, if we skip 2, that gives us kind of a decent spacing. So our stuff's not overlaying too much. Okay. So I got those. I'll go in here and solder those in, clip them, and just keep going until I'm done. Again, a little dab will do you with the solder. And make sure that you're not leaning directly over it when you're doing it, because you can see a little bit of smoke coming up off of the joints of my soldering iron, but the solder does have lead in it, so you don't want to be directly inhaling a whole lot of these fumes. So make sure you're in a well ventilated area. As you could see a minute ago, I'm outside my house, so it is plenty ventilated out here. All right, so we're coming along pretty nicely. But we're going to continue that until we've got all the spaces from here all the way around this bottom half of the board filled up. Once again, on this side, your resistors read top to bottom. Then we're going to read it left to right. And over here, for consistency of the image, we'll read it bottom to top. So it'll be a little backwards over there. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Again, my board is not completed because I have one board and I get to do this with 4 different classes. So I'm trying to make my board last so I can do each step with my in-person classes that way. Again, as always, I hope you are well. Hope you are doing well in school and your other classes are coming along all right. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me and I will try to help you with that. You can always get a hold of me during 8th period on B-Day. I'm at Northside on those days. But I can always set up a Zoom meeting if you need to talk to me. Stay in touch with me via email and Schoology. And again, once you complete this step, make sure you take a picture of it and submit it in the assignment section on Schoology so you can get credit in the grade book. And I can check up on your progress and maybe we can fix some stuff before it becomes a bigger issue down the road. So if you run into anything, let me know. Until then, be safe. Have a good day.